Not a YouTuber, just like making videos, and we're talking about the Nolan Wells situation. Yeah, yeah, I was Nolan Wells at one point. Now, when I first got into college in upstate New York, I lived in the dorms. In the dorms, we had singles, doubles, and triples as far as the room size. And it was cool because when I first got in there, the room I was in was a triple, but there was only two of us. It was me and another white dude named Paul. Paul was real cool. You know what I'm saying? I got no problems with Paul. There was some other two white dudes we hung out with. Um, Stewart, and yeah, he looked like a Stewart. And there was this white dude named, I forgot his real name, but we called him Doogie because he looked like Doogie Howser. But then there was another white boy, Jesse McWolf. Jesse McWolf, sort of came late to the party. He's late registration like Kanye West. So they put him in the room with me and Paul since, we had a double. It was cool me and Paul having this big room all to ourselves, but now Jesse was there. And me and Jesse McWolf, and yeah, that's what the guy's name. Think about a white boy named Jesse McWolf. Think about what he'll look like. And I guarantee you, he looked like that. And this was the 90s, and Jesse carried the 90s. He had the flannel jacket, the soul patch, had the long curly hair. This dude was the symbol of the 90s, or a 90s white boy who listened to rap music and that rap rock music and all kind of variations. um Me and him clashed almost instantly, and Jesse McWolf claimed, or it's like he wanted to position himself to be the leader of our clique or whatever. Like there really was no leader, but I could see how Jesse McWolf's kind of like punked these other white boys. Like he'll take Doogie's car keys and just snag him and say, "I'm going to the mall," and that'll be at that. Doogie would hardly push, back on him. So that's what I mean. It's like what Jesse does once is like, "Oh, we're going into this bar," so it's like they follow Jesse. Now me, I didn't give a fuck about a Jesse McWolf. And one time me and him clashed in the room, and not physically fight, but what I'm saying, just had a standoff, and I went to go sleep in the basement. So in a lot of ways you could say Jesse kind of like punked me. But I left that room because there was just too much tension there. I didn't want to get into something, and me throwing the first punch, because in the dorms, yeah, they'll kick you out in a second. So I like slept in the basement, but in our basement there was like a lounge. What I'm saying? It was a TV there, couch, whatever. And I remember that night there was a pretty black girl named Helen who saw me sleeping down there and brought me a freaking a pillow and a blanket. So with these white dudes, I'm saying, we went out to the bar. I'm saying, we sat together at the lunch table. Some stuff like that. And sometimes me and Jesse would have a cordial conversation about something. Now bear in mind, this was my freshman year in college. I'm saying? After that, I was hanging around. I'm saying? I hung around a different crew. I'm saying? More black, but still some white people. I'm saying? Sprinkled in there, but I can see it. Let's say me and these white dudes was gonna go out on a trip. Upstate New York, upstate New York, got a lot of nice wilderness there. Say we was gonna go to a trip to a lake. And and everything in upstate New York is named off named after Native American tribes or whatever, like Lake Winamac, or Lake Pontiac, or Lake Tanaka. Let's say we was all going to take a trip, like, yeah, we're going out to the lake spring break or some shit like that, drink some beers, pitch a tent. Let's say me and Jesse get into it. Me and Jesse get into it real heavy. We're not in the college dorms. Let's say something happens to me. I land in the water, or just, I die. I get deleted out there at the lake because of Jesse. And I'm pretty sure these white dudes aren't gonna, snitch on Jesse. May not snitch on Jesse. Now, if it was reversed, if I did something to Jesse or whatever, there's no way these white dudes will cover that up. The white dudes are like, oh, it was him. It was Derek. Derek did it. You know. And I can see that even though these white dudes is cool, I can't say any bad. I'm not saying I had any microaggressions from any of those white dudes besides Jesse. I could see something happening between me and Jesse, and then the other white dudes was like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? They'll talk to the authorities like, man, he saw some white girls and went chasing after them. You know how them black guys are with the white girls. So therefore, when we go into the Nolan Wells situation or other things that happened, Nolan Wells could have had beef or a piff with just one of them white dudes on that trip that he just didn't get, he got the least along with. And just one. It could have been all of them, but I'm saying all it will take is just one of them that just didn't really see eye to eye with that dude that's only hanging with this dude. Now people hang with one person because they're friends to the other person, that friend is like the link for them. And then the other white dudes, they're just gonna, they ain't gonna snitch. They're gonna fall in line. They're gonna be like, oh, well, we don't know what happened to them. So, but that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Never stop learning.